What's up, Wikimaniacs? On today's episode, we have an OP who wears an inappropriate dress to a wedding, a wife who doesn't want to do housework, another polyamorous relationship goes wrong, a widower finds comfort in another woman, and an OP becomes her sister's surrogate. For the Patreon exclusive stories, we have an OP who dresses too straight, and we tackle another naming story where an OP rejects the worst name ever. If those sound interesting to you and you want day early and ad-free episodes, head on over to patreon.com/cultivate podcast network, or head on over to our YouTube channel and click join to become a member today. Reddit on Wiki starts now.
Get therapy.
I'm not reading.
Get therapy.
What's up, Wikimaniacs? It's your boy Josh here for another Am I the Asshole Friday. I've, of course, got my co-host, the one, the only, Sean Salvino. What's up, buddy?
Hello. How do you do?
And, sorry to interrupt you, Sean.
No,
We've
please
got
do.
both cats in camera view right now.
Oh, hell yeah.
Artie is right here, hiding in the box, and then Ringo is bugging her, of course. But yeah, we've got Artie first time on camera, kind of.
Wow.
Very hard to see her.
She's trying to make it easier.
Oh, there we go. You can kind of see her now. Well, I'll zoom in post, but
I got to say, from my angle, she looks like just baby Ringo.
they are
Very
identical.
identical.
Yeah. Very opposite personality wise.
Artie's very shy.
Yes. And she's very cuddly. Ringo is crazy. Welcome Artie to the show for the first time ever.
We got to get that Artie merch going immediately.
It's also her birthday month, so
Ooh.
yeah.
She's a year already?
Pretty close. Yeah, at the end of
She's
April.
so tiny.
Yeah, she is pretty small. I don't know if she'll grow anymore, but anyway. You might see them in the background playing.
Won't be able to focus
this right now.
at all.
But I don't know if we have anything. John's still not here.
Yes.
We may have another special guest for the Patreon section. I'm not going to promise anything, but
/YouTube membership. We got to.
/YouTube membership. Sienna might make an appearance, but we'll see.
Ooh.
But Sean, are you ready to hop into the first story today?
Oh, love to hear those words. Let's hop in.
All right. So we've got a lot of updates in today's episode, actually. So we're going to start off with the first one, cross-posted by one of the goats, Dog Midscored Vader.
Oh, yeah.
And the title for this one is, Am I the Asshole for Wearing a Gold Dress to a Wedding?
Ooh, I did see the title for this one, and I was excited to hear it.
Another dress one that I'm sure we are
going to be very wrong about.
So prepared for. But which way are you leaning right off the bat, Sean?
I got to say, I mean, it depends. Some cultures, like, because I've worn like a barong, which is like a Filipino formal wear to like a non-Filipino wedding.
Okay.
And you know, it was fine. Nobody said anything. So I'm wondering if this is maybe a cultural. I'm hoping it's a cultural wear. And
okay.
You know, because I know like my Vietnamese friends, when they got married, they had a lot of family in like, pronounce me if or forgive me for pronouncing wrong, but I think it's called Aoi. It's like a traditional formal Vietnamese wear. And, you know, some could be categorized as gold, maybe. So that's what I'm hoping. But I feel like this is not that, if I'm going to be quite honest. I feel like they wore a gaudy dress on purpose. And just statistic-wise, last time we said not the asshole, we got fucking roasted. So I'll say asshole for wearing the gold dress.
All right.
That was a long road to get there, and I apologize. I'll keep it brief.
I appreciate the context and everything in there, so it's always appreciated.
Yeah, when the scores don't matter, I may go off a little bit.
Exactly. And you have an audience to approve.
It's added pressure right now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest,
they're all staring at you, actually. All right, so for some context, my 30 female best friend Dan, 30 male, got married to Lauren, 27 female, yesterday. Dan and I have been best friends since high school. and despite always being platonic with no romantic interests on either side, his now wife Lauren has always disliked me. In their 3 years of dating, I have not been allowed to see Dan alone because she feels that it's suspicious that I want to hang out with him. Honestly, I just miss my friend. Despite me being happily married, she's always kept me at arm's length. I always figured this was because she was from a very conservative family. Dan has spoken to her multiple times, and after, she'll back off for a bit before reverting to complaining about him being friends with a girl again. It's not ideal, but she makes Dan happy, so I made peace with it. That brings us to the wedding. Originally, I was going to be in the groom's party, but Lauren ended up crying, saying a wedding is not a place to swap gender roles. Okay.
Oh, looks like we're going to be wrong here.
Yeah. Dan was fighting her on this, but I just told him I'll be attending as a guest and not to choose this hill to die on. The dress code was warm tone garden party, and we were encouraged to wear earthy, warm colors. So I picked out a bronze/orange dress that I thought fit this perfectly, and the style even matched some examples they gave. And in short, I thought I had nailed it. And she provided a link to the dress. I've actually sent it to you. We will look at it at the end.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
But yeah, just so you know, we will be looking at it. I'll tag it in the show notes and stuff.
Not that pictures help, because when we had the red dress picture, I was like, that's fine.
Also,
but obviously everybody was like, that's a goddamn wedding dress, you idiot. And I was like, you're right, my bad.
I'm wrong. Yeah. The wedding went great. However, at the reception, Lauren dragged me aside and said, quote, "I cannot believe you would wear gold to my wedding. You are not the first prize. You're just fucking trashy." End quote.
What?
Yeah.
That's a wild
statement. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I guess we could see the dress and it could be gold, but I mean, just the gender norm comment has me already like, fuck the bride a little bit. I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, because Nancy and I don't have this rule about like hanging out one-on-one with like the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Because she has a lot of guy best friends. I have like one girl best friend that's not family.
Yeah.
But we don't care really. But I know I know some people have issues with that. I mean, I think that's fine as long as you're communicative. So truly, I don't think her being weird about them hanging out is bad as long as she communicates.
I think it's slightly controlling if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
Like they've never had a romantic, relationship with each other.
For sure.
I think it's absolutely fun. Like Santa's got a couple guy best friends. That's how, I mean, one of my best friends is one of her best guy friends. And so it's like how we met. And yeah, I have like a best girlfriend who, we'll go for coffee dates every once in a while just to catch up. Completely fine.
I think it's completely like I said, Nancy hangs out with her dude friends one-on-one and vice versa. I'm just saying, I know a lot of people, I feel like, if I've learned anything from getting roasted for a week, not our experience is not everyone's experience. So I'm saying, as long as you communicate and it's like in a healthy, not like my way or the highway. I think that's fair. So that fair. I thought was okay. So far, the only thing I haven't loved, gender norm comment, weird. Been to lots of weddings where there's a guy or a girl groomsman or a guy bridesmaid.
Yeah.
Nobody fucking bats an eye. No one fucking cares.
Yeah, it's 2024.
To be fair, though, if it is in a church, some churches just straight up don't allow it, which I think is stupid. It's because the bridesmaids, if they're a guy, they're not the ones getting married. I don't fucking know. They're just there to be accessories to the bride or groom. I don't understand why the church cares. Another reason why I'm like, I'm religious, but also like, come on, guys, get a grip. It's 2024.
Yeah. Some stuff we can move on from.
We can move on from. But like gender norm thing, bad. Also, fucking pulling this person on a one-on-one during a wedding, also not great. Yeah. I mean, I guess I could be completely wrong if we get this fucking picture and the dress is just, I don't know, a gold wedding dress.
Fair. That's fair. All right. So she called me fucking trashy. I was so shocked in the moment, I just stared at her. She practically screamed at me to leave, and she was drawing attention. So I grabbed my husband, said bye to Dan, and left. Dan reached out after and told me he was upset I left his wedding so soon. Lauren's mom texted me saying I ruined the wedding for her daughter and I'm stupid for wearing a gold dress, saying it's as bad as wearing white. I was genuinely not aware this was a thing. I wanted to reach out to Dan to explain, but I don't know if I'm in the wrong here. So am I the asshole?
Just right off the bat, before I look at the picture, I feel like no.
Okay.
I feel like no, just given everything that we have so far.
I have seen the picture, so I'm a little bit slanted, but even before I saw the picture, I was going to say no, because I mean, personally, I've never heard of even gold being that much of an issue. I could be wrong. This could be the red wedding dress all over again.
Because I was going to say, like, I think at my wedding, like, our colors were like neutral and gold.
Yeah.
So we kind of encouraged the gold to be worn, like yellow gold to be a thing. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird for sure. So if you want to open up the chat, there should be a link to the dress there.
That is an orange fucking dress. What are you talking about? What the absolute fuck are we talking about? That's burnt orange. Not even, if anything, like OP said, that's bronze. That's third place. That's third place.
If I saw this at a wedding, I would think nothing of it other than, oh, that's a nice dress. You know what I mean? Like, it has no connotations to being a wedding dress or like, yeah, it's not even close to gold in my opinion. I'm slightly colorblind, so I could be wrong. But
I mean, I don't know if my color vision is perfect, but in my opinion, it is shimmery, I guess, like the fabric. But even then, it's just a shiny orange.
Yeah,
and maybe it's because I'm from Texas and that like UT is like such a popular imagery, like University of Texas, burnt orange, Longhorns. Yeah, that's like iconic Texas imagery. So that's where my mind goes right away. I think you just must have I mean, obviously she had a vendetta against OP, but like, it's. I feel like it's quite a reach to say that's gold.
So with all of that in mind, I think. Absolutely not the asshole.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and you left immediately after. But yeah. If I'm wrong, I mean, again, because I barely remember stories, I feel like Red Dress Lady made like a whole scene of it.
I think she did, yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we really missed the boat on that one. There are some flags for sure.
Yeah.
But
red flags.
Red flags for sure. But yeah, I got to say, this burnt orange dress, you left as soon as she asked you to leave, didn't make a scene. I don't know. I feel like definitely not the asshole.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think not the asshole. It's clear that she's got some other motives against you, and just wanted to embarrass you in front of in a place where she had the backing of everyone. You know what I mean? Like, it's her wedding. She's going to get some blind support no matter what. So yeah, I mean, you left. That's the safe thing to do. It sucks you missed your best friend's wedding, which is the really shitty part. But yeah,
you're going to be a groomsman, like very much in the mix, and then you have to leave early.
That's crazy. So I'll go into a comment, and then we got an update. So just to clarify everything, Flynn lower score JM asked, "Are you in a relationship? Have you ever kissed or hooked up with Dan? And do you think Dan has ever fancied you?" OP responded, "I am happily married, and Dan and I would rather eat glass than have anything romantic happen between us. We are just not each other's types and see each other as siblings. I genuinely don't think Dan has ever secretly liked me either." So, yeah, just to clear that up, there is no, underlying motive for OP here. Yeah, or Dan, by the sounds of it. So, let's hop into the update here. OP says, "Wow, guys, I genuinely didn't know what to expect posting this to strangers on this, but I am so thankful to my husband for suggesting this. I needed a non-biased view of this wearing gold to a wedding issue, and it's now clear that this was never an issue. Many of you asked if the dress I wore stood out, and I honestly know I'm biased saying this, but I genuinely don't think so. Another girl was wearing the exact same dress, but in dark red, which we had laughed about. Slip dresses are pretty common wedding guest dress where I am, and it was type of dress that was recommended by the bride. I think many of you were right in saying that this was never about the dress, but how I looked wearing it. Turns out Dan found out pretty quickly what actually happened and called me last night. Apparently, Lauren's mom had told him I was really drunk and told Lauren her dress wasn't it, so I was requested to leave.
The fuck?
Yeah. Sounds like the mom had a heavy hand.
Also, is the mom like a Gen Z? Not it.
She's hip, okay?
I mean, she's a cool mom.
Yeah. Dan had his suspicions that it was bullshit, but it wasn't until his mom called him to confirm it. Turns out his mom was nearby when Lauren pulled me aside, and ironically was actually wearing a yellow gold dress, and she tore him a new one about letting Lauren treat me like that. Dan didn't have a solution when he called. I could tell he was emotionally exhausted and pretty defeated. He said he wished I had taken it out on the open bar rather than leaving, but he understood why I left. He thanked me for taking the high road and that it hasn't gone unnoticed. He apologized for what happened. Apparently, this is an ongoing fight between him and Lauren. For all of those who say Lauren just hates me, it turns out to be 100% true. Yeah. Apparently, she's been trying to convince Dan to cut me off because that's, quote, what a good husband does. He said he thought she had gotten over it now that they were married. I told him that he needs to focus on his happiness and I will always be here to support him and that I will take a step back if that's what he needs. They were supposed to leave for their honeymoon yesterday, but when Dan called, they were still at home, so who knows? I blocked Lauren and her mom and forwarded the message to Dan, just as recommended. Thanks again for everyone for your comments and judgment. Man.
I don't get the hate because like OP is truly like, I can take a step back, like no issues here. It would suck, but like if that's what she needs for y'all to be like happy and whatnot, then that's so be it.
Yeah.
So truly OP is just chilling here. Truly doing nothing wrong.
A true friend, to be honest, to Dan.
Yeah.
Who is caught in the middle of this. I mean, yeah, for like I get she's his person, but you'd love your person to be cool with your people you like your best friends. You know what I mean? Like they should be chill.
You gotta love the people that your person loves.
Yeah. Because they make you happy, like your partner happy. Yeah. So that should make you happy. It's just like, why are you destroying this?
I mean, I guess you can't love everybody. I imagine, some people have problematic friends.
For sure. That's not what I'm talking about, to be honest. The problematic friends, yes.
Neither was I, but I was just like, before I make a general statement.
Yeah.
They're definitely, But
like,
you should make an effort to be like what you're saying, make an effort to be cool with the people that your partner loves. Yeah.
At least be courteous and then realize that their friendship is important and that it should be respected. Cause Dan and her have been friends long before you came around. You know what I mean? Like, and she's going to be there when it sounds like this might never amount to a long-term relationship, in my opinion.
I would say maybe therapy, work it out. There's a possibility.
There's a chance she had an ex who cheated on her with his quote unquote best friend. And now she harbors that, but that's not on Dan. That's not on OP.
Starting off the marriage on a rough time like that is tough to bounce back from, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Reddit deemed not the asshole.
Good.
And Ether Midscore Win said, I don't think it would have mattered what color your dress was. The now wife hates you and was going to find something to yell at you for, whatever you wore. If it wasn't the dress color, it would have been something else. Tell your friend why you left early and make sure he knows how his wife treats you, not the asshole. And I think that was before the update, but I felt the statement was true. With that, we'll move on to the next Goats Cross post. Mary Gets 2011.
Oh, play the sound.
Who wrote us actually, they sent us a nice message on Patreon. So I don't know if you read that yet, Sean, but
you know the answer to that question, John.
I do know the answer, but
I appreciate you trying to be kind and throw me a softball, but I'm gonna be honest with you. You know the answer to that question.
It was a very nice message. I believe John's read it. But yeah, we'll get that message to you someday. Sean.
I'll read it now that I know that it's Are there a lot of messages that I need to be reading? I could read them. I'll read them.
No idea.
Yeah, I have no clue.
That's supposed to be John's area of expertise. So
that's true. He's been so
busy.
He's been busy.
But anyway, the Mary Gets cross-posted this one titled, "Am I the asshole for telling my husband that if he pays me my hourly rate, I will do more housework?"
Oh, no, not the asshole. This is a classic lazy husband complaining by the sounds of it.
Okay. Yeah,
just statistically going, I'm going to go lazy husband complaining things aren't getting done while not realizing that he, in fact, does not contribute to getting things done.
Wow. It's only a matter of time before you could write your own fictional Am I the Asshole stories, I think. Perfectly.
I don't know.
I think you could probably, honestly, if you really wanted to. But all right, let's hop into it. So I am a steam fitter, but I've been at it for a while and I'm in supervision.
What's that?
Steam fitter? That's a great question.
I thought it was like a hobby. It sounded like steampunk to me. So I was like, oh, is it like a steampunk cosplayer? But then I was like, oh, that's probably a job.
Yeah, it's like pipes, working with pipes, basically.
Oh, hell yeah.
Will I get more specific? No, because I do not know more about it. OP says, but I've been at it for a while, so I'm a supervisor with bonuses and incentives, but not counting benefits. I earn over $100 an hour. Hell yeah.
Jesus, that's awesome. Christ, get that money.
I also work out of town. I started doing that once the kids were old enough to take care of themselves with their dad at home. So when my youngest was in middle school and eldest was in junior high. It is great. Our retirement savings are piling up and we've been able to splurge on the kids and ourselves.
What's that like?
In this economy?
What's that like? Y'all got retirements?
Yeah.
Shit.
My husband is upset, however, because I decided to pay for a cleaning lady. He and I discussed it and we agreed that he and the kids didn't do a great job of keeping the house clean and tidy while I was away. I hated coming home to a mess. It caused a few fights because it was like they expected me to come home and clean up after them. So you nailed it, Sean.
But instead of just a husband, you got shitty little kids there too. They're like, yeah, why isn't mom cleaning? Bitch. Did they say how old the kids were? Before I go off on the...
Middle school and high school. So yeah.
High school, old enough. Definitely old enough. Middle school, at least you could do the dishes or vacuum.
I would say old enough for sure to clean up after themselves.
At the very least.
Having her is fantastic. I come home to a clean house and I am happier. My kids have more time to study and do extracurricular activities. They still have to do chores and they are still expected to clean up after themselves. My husband came to me last time I was home and said we should cut back on the service when I'm home, that I should be doing more housework. He thinks that we are wasting money. I said I work 14 days in a row and that those are 13-hour days. Yes, it's mostly paperwork, but his job as a teacher isn't much more physically challenging. I said that I could offer him two options. If he wanted, we could completely get rid of the service and he and the kids could make sure the house was in good shape when I get home, or he could pay me an hourly rate to do extra homework when I'm off my days. He is upset with me and says I'm being financially manipulative. I think if he and the kids actually did what they were supposed to do when I'm away, none of this would be an issue. So am I the asshole?
Wait, she's the one paying for the service, right?
Correct.
So what? How was she being financial? Everything was handed. She was being the one paying for the service. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I get like in a relationship, you're like some people do it like our money together is like the joint, but like clean up after yourself then if you don't want her to spend the money.
I just don't know how she's being financially manipulative.
Yeah, that is insane.
Maybe I'm just a dumbass, but I'm not seeing that at all here.
No.
And this guy's working a hard job too. I will say that.
Yeah.
So I'm just confused as to why she seems understanding that you work a tough job. Like she's not asking you to clean. Well, I guess she is asking you to clean technically, you and the kids. But I mean, yeah, she found a solution to where kids get things done. You guys can both relax after a hard day's work and the house is clean. I truly don't understand why he wants to cut back, especially, I mean, not to be rude, but $100 an hour seems pretty good to be paying
13-hour days.
Yeah.
14 days a week.
Jesus, fucking 14 days straight.
Yeah, that's...
Can we do quick math on that?
I can't do it. It's not my forte to do math, but Yeah. Plus, she was, even before this, she was saying like our retirements are piling up. We're able to splurge on ourselves and the kids. Like, you're doing fine.
So every 2 weeks, she's making almost 20,000.
Oh shit!
You can afford
there's taxes
the house
for sure.
For sure, there's taxes, of course. But you can afford a housekeeper. You know what I mean?
That's not even on top of what he makes too.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Holy fucking shit! 20,000 a paycheck.
I could only imagine what your Uber bill would be if you had that much money.
My God. Oh yeah, my delivery service for food. Oh,
yeah.
It'd be terrible. I'd never leave the house.
You'd go to fancy restaurants.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You'd splurge on yourself for sure.
Yeah. I go to fancy restaurants now, and I'm not making a fraction. I'm truly an idiot. So with
no, that you're not. I was just bugging you. But yeah, I truly don't see the issue because it's like solving a problem that everyone has in the house, and it's making everyone's lives better, and not financially impacting you like that much. I would imagine. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be crazy.
20,000 every 10,000 a week. You can, it's not like how often are you getting the cleaning? Even if they're there every day, if they're there every day for an
2
hour,
hours,
there's no way you're paying them. And plus retirement is good. Y'all are splurging already.
Yeah.
Things seem good. I would just keep things good. Why? Yeah. Why? I truly don't understand why he is wanting to stop it.
I truly don't understand. I mean, you're obviously, he's not the asshole. This is insane. I truly, like, it's one of those stories where I'm like, I don't even understand his motive behind asking for it. Because it seems like everyone's lives improved from this.
Was she being obviously snarky? Probably. Yeah, but also, from what we've been given, it's kind of a dumb request. No offense, but like the kids happier. They're doing extracurriculars, having more study time. Both of you are happier. Y'all don't have to do these chores after working fucking 14 hours or 13 hours. I forget, whatever. And
13,
And then being a teacher, obviously a very difficult job. Because play the sound, Josh, fuck them kids. You need to take a long.
Nope.
Close enough, brother.
There we go. They're right beside each other, and they are similar colors. I told you I'm colorblind.
Is that the teal and the blue?
It's the red and like
orange,
like an off red. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why they put those. They put the colors that are very close to each other side by side. Why would you do that?
You can change them.
You can, but why have that as the default?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
no sorry. Idea. Yeah, the listeners have no idea what the fuck we're talking about, and they do not care.
But anyway, Munchkin's lower score and Dragon says, poor fool seems to think if she physically does the housework, then it would take some of the sting of her out earning him 2-1. Resentment is brewing on both sides, and it's not going to be pretty if they don't figure it out now. So they Munchkins is presuming that he is feeling some type of way about her being the breadwinner of the house, which
could be
potentially.
She didn't mention anything like that, or OP didn't. So
yeah. So
but definitely we can't come up with a reason why he would stop it. So
no,
truly, it could be that. That makes sense. I would just never. If Nancy started making 20,000, 10,000 every week, you think I would do anything to stop the train that's flowing? I'd be so pumped.
I would be doing as much housework as I could if that was really the issue. You know what I mean? I'm dropping everything. Truly, I don't understand that. Some people were speculating he has he's gambling money away, or, check your financials. Who knows what he's doing with it?
That's a good point.
There was some dark past that could be taken for this one. But to lighten it up, Advanced Midscore Guitar, Midscore 5264 said, if my wife made $100 an hour, I'd clean the house and blow her when she got home.
What the fuck? But facts.
I thought we needed that comment because John wasn't here. So
yeah, we do need something filthy. Truly, whenever the story started and you were mentioning pipes, I was like, oh, I miss John. He would make some kind of sick joke here.
Some pipe joke.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, moving on to our third story, cross-posted by Golden Mocha 28. And this one's titled, "My wife broke down yesterday because I got my polyamorous partner an emotional gift. Was I wrong?"
Oh, I wanted to read this one too. I'm glad you picked it. Because I was
it's on the fence of being like an Am I the Asshole one, to be honest.
When I read the title, I didn't see anything. So I was like, ooh, this looks. And then I saw that it was like the Am I Wrong subreddit. And I was like, ooh, immediately out. I'm immediately out. So yeah, I'm excited for you to read this one. Do I think OP is the asshole? Probably.
Okay.
I mean, I guess anything could be an emotional gift. And truly, y'all know me. I don't understand anything really about polyamorous relationships. So like I have zero experience. So I have no idea how gift giving is supposed to work or how, I guess every couple is different, really. There's different rules.
Yeah, there are different rules.
Truly impossible to know from the just the title. But I will go off on a limb and say asshole. Just statistic wise, I feel like that's where we're going.
All right. So my wife, 34 female, and I, 35 male, have been married for 8 years now. And we have a 7-year-old boy. We decided to open up our relationship last year to spice up our bedroom life. It hurt me a little bit when she brought up the topic, but I agreed because I loved my boy and still loved her. We set a couple of rules. 1, not to bring a partner home. 2, try not to form an emotional bond. And 3, to have your partner tested and also get yourself tested regularly. So
solid.
The emotional bond right off the bat in there.
Yeah. The title is an emotional gift. So not starting off hot, OP.
It did say try not to form an emotional bond, which is a wild rule. Because that's not a black or white rule.
The rule is try not to, but we know the rule is not to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's been a year, and to be fair, our bedroom life has been amazing since we opened up the relationship. My wife definitely has had a lot more success than me, which isn't that surprising. She's a catch. She's been with a lot of great looking guys in the past year. It's honestly a confidence booster, as weird as that sounds. Well, the issue now pertains to a woman, 30 female, who I met on Bumble. She's the only person I've been talking to since opening up the relationship. She knows that I'm married, and I have been truthful to her about everything. There's no emotional connection between us whatsoever, but I love talking to her, and we have vibed really well.
Right off the bat. No emotion, but I love. Stop. You know,
but I vibe with her.
I feel like that's an emotion right off the bat.
Vibes are an emotion.
And also vibes are an emotion as well. Yeah, not good. I do think, again, not against the rules, but if there's only one, and I feel like, I don't know how these things work, but if the try not to get attached thing is a thing, I would also, feel like just to make sure that never happens, that the rule should be maybe only one time with one. Each time must be different. You know what I mean?
It's a 3 strikes and you're out rule.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, do something because, I don't know. I've only had one partner, so it's I imagine emotions get involved. And every movie in Hollywood tells me that emotion gets involved. So I just imagine
that's the only way Sean knows how to process
quite anything. I am literally a bad from the community.
What media can I relate to this? Yeah. All right. So we vibed really well. She had a traumatic childhood, especially when her mom passed away when she was 14. She was really close to her and also has her name tattooed over her heart. She never wants a relationship ever because she feels she is too broken to have one, but she loves the connection we have. We've given each other lots of small gifts over the past year.
Seems rather attached and emotional.
Yeah. Gifts seem attached.
Gifts. Unless it's a gift strictly for, and forgive me for being blue or crass, but sexual relations. I feel like that, because that's what this whole thing is supposed to be, finding sexual partners outside. I assume just, because if there's no emotion, what else is there?
Yeah. I don't know. So her birthday is coming up on Sunday, and I spent a lot of time on her gift.
Come on, brother.
Oh, man. I'm giving her a personalized photo watch with her mom's photo. I also had her mom's initial engraved on the watch. I went to great lengths to customize it. I was packing up the watch yesterday in a gift box when my wife came over and asked me about the gift. She knows about her and how close I've gotten with her. I showed her the gift and the letter I had written. Well, well, I didn't expect what happened after that.
Did you? Did you not? Did you not really? You broke rule 2. Did you?
She completely broke down and started crying really hard. I was honestly stunned because she gave no indication about this whatsoever. I panicked a bit because I've never seen her cry this much, so I spent a lot of time consoling her. We spoke a bit, and she said she was being completely unreasonable, but it just hurt her seeing how much thought and effort I was putting into my relationship with my partner. I assured her that there is zero emotional connection between us. I will always love only my wife and my child, but my wife seems completely in shell since yesterday. Was I overstepping my limits with the gift?
I think this guy is confused as to what emotion is or feelings.
I don't have any emotion, but I just put in the most emotional gift.
So I spent a lot of time on her gift, customizing it. I also wrote a custom letter, but again, not really attached, not really feeling any sort of feeling or anything. I could care less. Also wild that you've somehow gaslit your wife into thinking she's unreasonable when there were 3 rules and you broke one and she's somehow thinking she's in the wrong here. Insane, nasty work, my friend.
Yeah. So I will say right off the bat, the outcome in the chat, like, because am I wrong doesn't give a general,
asshole.
There's a consensus is asshole or whatever. It doesn't give that. So I was going through the comments and there were a lot of people, kind of everywhere, to be honest.
I mean, I've been wrong before, so maybe.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I think this one honestly depends on where you're coming from it, your stance.
I just don't know how you can say I'm not emotionally attached. Because I'll tell you what, I've never customized a GIF and written a handwritten letter to someone that I just didn't think about.
Yeah,
I think quite literally impossible to put so much thought and effort into a gift and be like, I don't really think about it. Not really emotionally attached at all, really. So I am surprised to hear, truly, maybe there's some things I didn't catch on, but like, it seems like he's going back and forth nonstop, being like, I only love my wife, but have I ever handwritten her a note and spent a lot of time customizing a gift? I don't know. We don't know, but sure seems like you would have wrote about it if you had. You would have been like, yeah, this is something I do for my wife and for my friends all the time. So I don't see what the big deal is. I don't know. I'm making assumptions here, but it feels like me, or it feels to me like a lot of like, I'm playing both sides, so I can never lose, type of vibe.
Yeah. And I will be honest. I think I'm leaning more towards he is in the wrong, but there are people in the comments that were like, she wanted you to open it up, but also you did agree to it. You could have stood your ground and said no to that. You know what I mean? Like,
she opened it up. Yes. But rules were made and agreed upon.
Yeah.
So she didn't break any of the rules. You broke the rules. So even that argument, I'm like, does not compute really with me.
Yeah. So I'll read one of the opposing views.
Yes.
Because people want these for some reason, but
want the opposing? Are they mad at us?
Some people want more comments, which,
okay.
I mean, I get to a certain degree, but there's somewhere it's like, well, we've been 20 minutes on this topic and we've said everything I think that's need to be said, but rough lower score theme, lower score 5289 said, your gift is an emotional gift, but your wife probably doesn't realize how much she fucked up by opening your relationship up until now. She gets to have the time of her life with other men, but loses it when you have something special with someone. LOL. Which I think,
I don't know. Feels kind of
the point.
Neck beauty incel to me. If I'm going to be completely honest with that, that argument, I guess not surprising that has upvotes because incels are rampant everywhere. But
there were a lot of comments like that too.
But it makes zero. Yes, she opened it up, but you agreed upon it and y'all made rules together, found compromise. In fact, you said that you like that she's seeing attractive dudes because it gives you confidence, I guess, because, at the end of the day, she's still choosing you. So it's like you're benefiting from the confidence that you're gaining from that. So it's like, I don't know. It feels like, I don't know. It just feels like rules were made. Agreements were agreed upon. She didn't break rules. You did. Black and white to me. Pretty simple.
I think so as well. But let us know if you think otherwise in the comments. There is an update to this one, so we'll hop into that. So I did not expect to get an overwhelming number of responses, and in all honesty, I was a bit overwhelmed with it all. I am probably not being honest with myself about the entire situation. It's just extremely scary to think about. I do not want to break apart my household. I want the best for our son. My wife has just not been herself since yesterday. It has been a somber home atmosphere. She took off work today and even tomorrow. Even our son has noticed her strange demeanor. Look, I love my wife. I have loved my wife for the last decade and will continue to love her for the rest of my life, regardless of what she does. That will never change. She's also an amazing mother to our son. But I probably haven't been entirely truthful to myself about my feelings towards my partner. I don't know. I don't know if we can have, I don't know if what we have can be described as an emotional connection.
You're so close to fucking connecting the fucking dots, brother.
But I think it's something deeper than that. And something I don't even have with my wife and have never had with her. It is also something deeper than love. Yeah.
Okay.
This is the dude
but
that said,
I don't know if that counts as emotional attachment. But yes, it's deeper than love. What are you talking? This guy's confused. Obviously confused, I think.
Yeah, which I get. Maybe he's feeling lost with his relationship and has just gone full force into this one. But I mean, it's a mess. He goes on to say, one of the comments asks what I would do if my wife wanted to switch back to a monogamous relationship. I'd never thought about it until then, but I've thought about it for a few hours since reading that comment, and it hurts me to deeply say, but I would want to leave my wife if she wanted to switch back to a monogamous relationship. And that thought is extremely scary, but I am firm in that decision after having spent several hours thinking about it. We'll see what the future holds. This is going to be my final update, and I'm probably going to delete my account soon for the sake of anonymity and mental peace.
I mean, sometimes I'm wrong. And sometimes I knock it out of the goddamn park. I don't know how you fucking argue at all for this. I didn't understand it then, and I really don't understand it now. What are you talking about, brother? I don't know if I categorize it as emotional attachment, but yes, I do feel things that are deeper than love, things that I've never felt with my own wife. So, but would I call that emotion? I don't.
It's beyond emotion, okay, Sean? You don't understand.
It's
man.
Debatable. What the fuck is this guy talking about, bro?
Yeah,
that one's tough. I hope the people that were so like, yeah, bro, she opened the relationship, it's what she gets, read that next one and was, I doubt it, but I hope they were like, ooh, I was wrong.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, it sounds like, I mean, they could have gone one of two. They could have gone to therapy and worked this out before they tried opening things up, because it sounds like their relationship is on the rocks anyway, to be honest. That's why they felt the need to do this. Yeah. I don't know. To me, it seems like, just divorce, because you care about this other person more than you care about your wife.
This has to be a divorce. You just openly admitted if your wife made you choose, you'd choose the other person. So then what are you doing? Crazy. So what are you doing? Just also, I gotta say, according to you, this person doesn't even want to be in a relationship. So you're really ready to blow your whole life up. And again, maybe that is a thing. Maybe it's like an asexual thing. Maybe he has no romantic feelings at all for this person. Maybe.
Well, I wouldn't say that. A lot of people don't love when we use asexual, because I think we use it wrong in many scenarios.
Okay. Well, then I apologize. I'm trying to learn when I get the comments, but also, again, not an expert at anything. So
he also doesn't read all the comments.
I also don't read all the comments unless they spell my name correctly.
Yeah, which is fair. But yeah, I think I don't think asexuality has anything to do with this story.
I was trying to give this
honest.
guy some sort of benefit of the doubt, but if I'm being honest and if I'm looking at my core, this guy's ready and willing to blow his
leave.
whole shit up for a girl who may not be into him. And maybe honestly, you should, because that's what your wife deserves, somebody who's in, and you're very much not in.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I just don't see any side where I agree with OP on this one.
Yeah. And to give us a bit more insight on, polyamory, Glitch Lower Score Gardner commented in our subreddit, said, first thing, that is not polyamory. If you're specifically trying not to form emotional connection attachments because you and your partner are not comfortable with it, made this change to just spice things up and maintain that your married coupledom is more important than your other intimate connections, then you're not in a polyamorous relationship. You're just trying and struggling to have an open relationship. So polyamory, I think, is
everyone is equal
the emotional
parts.
Connection as well. Yeah, it's
a full-on relationship.
Yeah, exactly. And so him even framing it as a polyamorous relationship is incorrect. That's not, because that implies that there would be emotional connections, whereas all she wanted was an open relationship, it sounds like. The words matter, and I really think that people using terms like this incorrectly gives people a really bad impression of actual polyamory. Polyamory specifically means an openness to partners having all kinds of connections to other partners, including emotional intimacy. So, the more you know.
Truly, we do need that. Because
absolutely.
I mean, because we've said before, like, we've never seen like good open relationships, and then we got taught there are a lot of good ones. They're just minding their own business and not writing Reddit stories. So truly, we're learning with you guys.
For sure.
It's good. And I feel like, now that we have listeners, there might be other people that don't know as well. And now you've learned.
Absolutely.
Hopefully.
All right. So the next two stories we've got here, we've got some trigger warnings. First one for this is trigger warning for death of a spouse and brief mention of unaliving oneself. So that's something you don't want to hear. You can skip to the next one, but spoiler alert for that one, there's trigger warning for SA. So if you don't want to hear that either,
oh man,
that's the end of the show, unless you're a patron or a member. But
are the Patreon stories happier?
They are, more uplifting. Okay. Not uplifting, but less heavy. For sure.
Yeah,
so,
okay. Yeah, I appreciate it.
I tried to balance it out with that a little bit. So, all right, this one was posted by HDBNU. And the title for this one is, Am I Wrong for Finding Comfort in My Late Wife's Twin Sister?
Ooh, that's some tricky territory.
Yeah, this one definitely gets tricky.
That's some tricky territory. Because I'm sure, you're seeing things probably not in the best state of mind, I would say. So you might be reading into things that aren't really there. Yeah, that's a tricky situation for sure.
All right, you want me just to jump into it?
Am I wrong? As long as you're not being weird about it, I guess is fine. But just statistically,
it's a tough one.
It's a tough one. Just hop into it. Actually,
slide.
Yeah, let me slide.
I'll let you slide with the prediction on this one. But let's hop into it. My wife passed away in a horrific car accident 8 months ago, leaving myself and our 3-year-old daughter behind. I was far too depressed to do anything and much less care for my daughter properly. So my sister-in-law, in brackets her twin sister, essentially moved in to help out. While sobbing about my wife's death together, one thing led to another and we ended up having sex. After the first time, we both felt nauseated with guilt, but soon came to realize that it was helping both of us cope. She's so much like my wife that when I'm with her, I'm able to forget what happened. It's temporary relief, but relief nonetheless. She grew to believe that she was doing a good thing by helping me cope and be a better father to my daughter. It's been a regular thing up until now. I feel obviously conflicted about it. No one can know what's going on, as it might tear our family apart, but it's helped me to not unalive myself, and I've been much better father/member of society since we began. I don't know if I'm prepared to stop. Help me see things objectively. How fucked is this?
Okay, well, it's consensual.
Yes.
So right off the bat, not terrible.
No,
I,
it is sad.
it's very sad. And to be honest, I mean, both are consenting adults. While I don't love it, I don't think there's anything inherently terrible about it. You know what I mean? Like they're both grieving and finding ways to cope. I don't love the fact that it like helps you. I mean, I don't know. It's tough to tell anybody how to grieve properly because like hearing like it helps me forget about it feels not great also because I feel
Yeah.
like but also I've never been in that situation, but I feel like when I've lost loved ones, as much as it hurts to remember things, it also feels, I don't know, good in a weird morbid way, like
Yeah.
living through those memories again and things like that. So like hearing like, oh, it helps me forget is not great, but again, like grief is such a tough thing to deal with. Not It's something that I feel like a lot of people don't talk a lot about just because they don't want to make other people feel uncomfortable or things like that. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. I would just say both of y'all are consenting adults. You guys are agreeing to do this. So I think in the grand scheme of things, it's fine. I don't know.
I'm not. Like, here's the thing. I don't think either. It's hard. No one's the asshole in this situation.
Yeah,
I'll just
that's
say
what
that,
I'm
'cause
saying. It's just
yeah.
what I think. It was bad if I saw like a friend do this. I'd be like, that's a little strange. But again, both people experience extreme loss.
Yeah.
A twin, just a sibling of any kind, and your soulmate. So just an extreme grief. You found somebody, and it's a weird somebody, for sure. But I don't think it's terrible.
No, I don't think it's a terrible thing. I think for OP and for the sister, I think it's going to be tougher to go through the grieving process. You know what I mean? Like I think they both severely need to get therapy. I think that should be the first step
For
because
sure. I feel like anybody in this situation, anybody dealing with grief, therapy would be great.
oh yeah, absolutely, just for themselves. But then on top of it, that's going to be super confusing for your daughter. You know what I mean? Like her aunt,
I mean,
who
if
looks exactly like her mom.
if they're keeping it strictly like, which again, I movies have taught me hard to do. If they're keeping it strictly just benefit wise, I don't know how you would say it, but
I think I understand. Yeah.
yeah, but I guess you wouldn't really have to get the daughter involved at that point. But yeah, you guys are just both in very vulnerable states of mind. Might not be the best to venture into something like this. But again, as long as both people are consenting, I don't see it as awful. This is a tricky situation.
It's honestly a weird one, but yeah, therapy first. I think honestly, I mean, you've got to go through the grieving process, and I think you're using this as a crutch to avoid that, which is, I mean, who can blame you? That's an awful thing to go through, but I think honestly, therapy and for both of you is the best play forward. But I don't know. Let us know what you think. There is a quick update here. He goes, update. I talked to my sister-in-law, which ended up with us in bed together once again. I don't think we can cut things off quite yet. It seems like the majority of the criticism is about how this will affect my daughter, which is very understandable. We've just decided to take better care of keeping our relationship private for as long as possible until we're ready to move on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's tough.
It's a tricky one. But let us know what you think, Wikimaniacs, down in the comments.
Sorry for bringing it back to TV, but it reminds me of course, not the same exact situation. And this is much more closer to the, to the accident, but like in Shrinking, where spoiler alerts if you haven't watched Shrinking. Yeah, where there's a similar-esque situation where the main character ends up, finding solace with his deceased wife's best friend.
Yeah.
Which of course, like in any other aspect, like, oh my God, like you're dating your siblings,
best friend.
Or like you're dating just things like that. If not for the death, obviously terrible situation. Like obviously, no. hard no. That's bad. But when it's, there's a deceased partner, people are finding solace and grieving in their own ways. It gets tricky to where I don't feel as comfortable being like,
you're an asshole.
Yeah. Terrible job there. You know what I mean? It's just a tough, heavy situation there.
For sure. All right. Moving on to the last one, cross-posted by Mary Gitz, 2011 again. I already did the goat sound for them. So
never enough for Mary Gitz.
Never enough. All right.
That's right.
Once again, trigger warning for essay in this one. But the title is, am I the asshole for telling my sister as her surrogate that her husband can't be in the room while I'm in labor?
Oh, no. The trigger warning paired with this title is very...
I will say, like, it's bad, but it's not as bad as where you're going, I think.
Okay.
It's not the bad you're going to, I believe. So.
Very stressful.
And for this one, Sean, I'm not even going to put us through the...
hypothesis section. Yeah.
With the trigger warning, I don't think it's probably proper to speculate on this.
I think that's a good thing to do going forward. If there's a trigger warning, not worth a hypothesis.
Save us all the problematic issues. Yeah. So we'll just hop into it. So I, 30 female, told my sister, 34, that I don't feel comfortable with her husband being in the room while I give birth to their child. My sister's been engaged to her husband for about 6 years now. And ever since she was a teenager, she's always expressed the want to have a family. About 3 years ago, my sister found out she was infertile after trying for a kid over a year. This was obviously devastating for her, and as her sister, I felt horrible. Maybe a year ago, she had started seeking out surrogates. But after being unsuccessful, she resorted to asking me. At first, I was hesitant, but as her sister, I hated to see her so desperate for a child, so I told her I'd be open and willing with no expense. I want to make it clear that I never had an issue with her husband, but I made it very clear to my sister before I became her surrogate that I do not want any men in the room during labor, as I was a previous SA victim in which I was taken advantage of by multiple men while purposely put under the influence, which was extremely traumatic, and I am still recovering. My sister had agreed to having her husband wait outside, and so I was okay with it as well. But about a month before my due date, her husband called and asked me if I had requested him not to be in the room during child labor. I had explained to him that I did, and it was no personal issue I had with him, and that having any men around me during a state of vulnerability, like child labor, would be extremely triggering, which is,
fair.
Yeah, absolutely okay. And we always say there's like child labor, the woman decides who's in the room, because that is a very vulnerable state to be in.
Yeah.
He quickly got mad and said that I don't have the right nor the say in determining whether or not he as the father can be in the room. I told him I wouldn't change my mind, and that even though it was his kid, that I was the one giving birth.
I gotta say, a very reasonable explanation was given to this guy.
Yes. And it was stated at the beginning of this whole thing as well.
So, I mean, kind of on the sister, I guess, for not communicating that to her spouse, but also any normal person would have been like, heard, gotcha, of course.
Yeah. I just want a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then to be in that situation, and then you think getting mad is going to be the answer.
Yeah.
That never makes sense.
You think that's going to make her want you in the room more?
Oh, I'm much more comfortable now that you've yelled at me over a decision that I've made and made clear.
Insane.
8 months ago.
I'm doing a favor for you.
Also, this is completely pro bono for you, brother. I just have one request. So truly, this guy is not great right off the bat, I think.
Yeah, sucks.
How is that a response after being given that information?
Yeah.
To be like, yeah, fuck all that. What about me? Is so fucking selfish.
What about me though?
Yeah.
Like, dude, on the totem poles of who's important in this, you are fourth on the list of the people involved in the story. It goes OP,
baby,
the baby, your wife, and then you.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I guess you guys could be tied at the bottom. I don't know, truly, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Absolutely insane.
Just like, when you're reading that to me, I'm just like, oh my God, that's so fucking terrible. And then this guy, how can you not think that when you hear that story? I don't know how you could immediately go into, what about me though? Is just fucking despicable.
Zero empathy. He continued to scream at me and abruptly hung up. Later on in the day, my sister had come to my house accusing me of disrespecting her husband and saying that after a lot of thinking, she thought it to be unfair and ignorant to ban her husband from seeing me give birth to their child.
It's not her fault you didn't communicate to your husband.
No.
This was
all on you.
Made known immediately. This is insane behavior.
Yeah. I then yelled at her, telling her that it was cruel and selfish how she was willing to let her husband in the room after knowing everything I had gone through previously with assault. She then basically told me that after her baby was born, she'd stopped talking to me for good. It's now currently 2 weeks before my due date, and I'm very persistent about not having any men in the room. And quite frankly, I'm fine with not speaking to my sister if she continues to be closed-minded.
I was going to say,
am I the asshole?
She might be giving you a blessing in disguise here.
Yeah.
Because I just don't know how anybody is thinking you're in the wrong here.
No one does, to be clear.
Yeah, no. Oh, I'm talking about like OP's sister and like how can they be so selfish? It's truly crazy to me because it's last resort. Agreed. Just one thing. I only need one thing. I'm not charging you any money. I just one single.
I will now. I would
request.
now.
Yeah. The way I'd be like, you know what? I think I am ready to be a mother. Just out of spite, which probably isn't good. That's not the answer. But I
don't think it's not the answer.
Also, it's just like, I honestly, if my sibling did this to me, I would truly be like, okay, I hope you don't ever talk to me again because this is fucking actually insane that you're talking to me like this and saying he disrespected me. I shared a very vulnerable story and gave him a very reasonable reason for my one singular request. And then what about Mead? Just what about blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter.
Insane.
Oh, so terrible. I don't know, like, if I was in this situation, I don't know what I would do. Because obviously, it sounds like OP is not trying to be a mom. And then also, I would be like, do I want these two psychopaths raising a child? That seems true. That seems like a bad situation for the kid now at this point. So I would be so conflicted. I think it's talk to a lawyer. Yeah, I don't know. And then I don't want the baby to go, because I feel like the foster system is not great. What is the solution here? That's so tough. I don't know.
Well, like I hinted at, Reddit deemed not the asshole.
Yeah.
Garden Party Crasher said the amount of people on Reddit who choose to be a surrogate for a family without a contract and then are surprised it goes south is wild. Pregnancy is a rough time for a happily married couple for whom everything goes off without a hitch. Adding in family drama plus hormones plus emotional turmoil from infertility is a recipe for disaster. And I mean, this is not to blame OP. This is on both sides of not doing a contract. PSA for anyone who's thinking about getting into this contract or anything like this, because it's just saves so much headache in the long run. And then you can just point to the contract and be like, hey, you signed this. You said you wouldn't be in the room. That's on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just to protect yourself is kind of what I'm getting at there. But yes, I also agree, not the asshole at all. The audacity of your fucking sister and husband is insane. If it were me, I'd talk immediately to a lawyer and try and figure out how can I, put up safeguards for myself. But yeah, I'm sure there's smarter people in the comments letting us know exactly what they would do.
I hope so.
And I read them. So let me know in the comments what people are saying. Do you want to close out the episode with us as well?
Sure. How does that work?
We can just say, all right, that is it for this episode, Wikimaniacs. If you're watching and you're wondering who this lovely person beside me is, Sienna hopped on for the Patreon and
/YouTube membership.
slash
Oh, yeah.
YouTube
Is that
membership.
premium? Is it called premium? What?
It's called YouTube members, I believe, or membership.
Okay.
So if you want to see Sienna's takes on some lighter stories, go
Yeah.
check out patreon.com/cultivate podcast network or hit up our YouTube members and join there. Thank you, Sean and Sienna, for coming on today and giving your takes. Thank you, Artemis,
Thank you.
for showing up for the first. They're playing now.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They're reenacting The Lion King.
Sister, no. Yeah. But thank you, Wikimaniacs, for another amazing episode. We'll see you on Monday. Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Get therapy.